everybody, Ellen here. Today I come to you guys with my December wrap up, and since it's the last month of the year, I was really struggling with reading, like, overall, because I read like 3 books in the first 3 weeks. That's just not like me, and there's still people thinking that it's New Year's even though it's past, people. So just ignore the bangs in the background. But yeah, so after those 3 weeks I realized that I have, like, I don't know how many it was, 10-15 books left to read to be able to reach my Goodreads goal. And yeah, I was forced to read a lot of manga, graphic novels, short books in general to be able to do that. I do feel kind of bad when I say that I've beaten most read books in a month, kind of. Personal best, seriously, because I read so many thin books, but I guess it still counts in a way, but we're not going to make it too big of a deal. But yeah, let's get started. So yeah, I ended up reading 25 books, which is my new personal record of most books read in a month. My last personal best, I think, was 23. So yeah, let's get talking about those books. So I read An Author's Odyssey. This is the 5th book in the Land of Stories series by Chris Colfer. In this series we follow the twins Connor and Alex, and they get swept into this magical book, into the Land of Stories, where there are magical, you know, stories. They do meet different characters like Lady Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Beauty and stuff like that. So he's trying to save sort of this magical reading world, and I really do like this series so much, and I ended up giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. And I also read The Toll by Neil Schusterman. This is the 3rd and final book in the Arc of Scythe trilogy. This is a hunker, and I was in such a reading slump in the beginning of the month, which made it take such a long time to read this book, because I read this book for like a week and a half, almost like 2 weeks, something like that. I did really enjoy this one. And the first book, we meet Owen and Citra, and they're actually chosen to become apprentices to these Scythes people. And in this world, it's sort of more a futuristic kind of world, because people don't die of age or disease or anything like that. The only thing that they can get killed of is if a scythe actually gleams them, and then they can't be revived again. So Rowan and Citra actually becomes apprentices to Scythes, and they're going to be trained and figure out one of them is actually going to become a Scythe. And I really love this series so much. I still definitely think that the 2nd book in the series is my favorite out of them, because that ended with a bang. But I did really enjoy this one, and I think I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now we have Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. This is the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series. This book is huge, and it freaking healed me so bad, because I just struggled through the 4th book, and then I struggled through this one, and this took me such a long time to read. I read this for over a month, and I was not enjoying it. I just feel like I'm really over the series, but also at the same time I feel like I've read so many of these books that I just want to finish the series and just call it even. But yeah, we meet this girl called Selena. She is in this sort of working camp in Endavia, and she gets the choice of either staying there or to sort of participate in this sort of tournament to become the king's assassin, and shit goes down from there, and I'm over it. But I did give it 3 out of 5 stars. And then I read White Sand, which is a graphic novel by Brandon Sanderson, volume 1 and also volume 2. This one was actually a reread, the first volume. Not crazy about this series, which is such a shame to say when it's Brandon Sanderson, but I hate, like really truly hate, the illustrations of this series, because seriously they give me a headache and kind of make me nauseous, because I just hate them. The story is quite alright. I feel like not a lot is happening, but still it's like some interesting plots and interesting characters thrown in there. But yeah, I think I gave the first volume 3 stars just like last time, and this one 3.5, and that's kind of a nice one. And then I reread some graphic novels just to be able to finish my goal. So I reread Saga Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 and Volume 4. And there's also another reason to why I read this, because I want to continue on with the series. I have only read until volume 6 previously, so I really want to continue on with the series because I think volume 8 is out, if not even more than that. So I really want to continue on with it. This is about sort of star-crossed lovers, two different planets, or moon in one case, and they're not allowed to be together, and they're just trying to find a place where they can be together and take care of their child that they actually had together, and everybody's hunting them down, trying to kill them and everything like that. So I really enjoy these series so much, and they definitely do live up to the hype. And I don't really remember all of the ratings for these because all of them are like 4.5 out of 5 stars or 5 stars. And then we have A Silent Voice by Yoshitoki Oima, and in this one we meet Shoya, and he is a bully. He pretty much dedicates all of his free time to make sure that he is not bored, which means he does all of these crazy things, like jumping off bridges and everything like that. But then one day a girl named Shuko arrives at school. She's transferred there. She has no hearing, she can't hear anything, and Shoya finds a new sort of victim, and he keeps bullying her a lot. So it's just pretty much about finding out what he does to her and how people around them actually sort of what they do when they are aware of this fact. It was really terrible read actually because it's so heart-wrenching. I think I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I read I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino, and this is the first volume in I think the same series. And we meet Kohei, and he does not hear very well. He can hear sound but not too good. He doesn't know sign language, but everybody just assumes that he does, and he's just really misunderstood. They think he's like sort of this quiet, mean, sort of broody type just because he doesn't really interact with other people. And then we meet Kohei, and he is just starving all the time. He just likes to eat, and they form this sort of friendship, and it's really nice and cute, and I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. And then we have Black Butler by Jana Toboso. This is the first volume in the same series, I think, but we follow this boy named Seal Panthamhive, and he is this he's an oral, has this really big like mansion and everything like that. And then we have Sebastian, who is his butler, and he can do some remarkable things. He may or may not be completely human, and shit goes freaking down. There's a lot of action in this one. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It was a quick read, really fun, and I enjoyed it, so I give it 4 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Flykten från tornet and Pantones Ö, which is book 5 and book 6 in a series called Äventyren i Sagofallen. These are both written by Hanna Blixt. They're really short children's books, and the illustrations are just as amazing inside as the covers are. But in the first book we meet Leo and Sophia, and they actually sort of accidentally get sucked into this magical world, and they have to work together with the inhabitants there to fight evil, who takes the form of different chess players. And it's really interesting concept, really quick reads. I really do enjoy them a lot. And I gave Flykten från tornet I think 4 stars, and Pantones 4.5 maybe? I don't really remember. I'll write down here. Then I read Dead Man Wonderland. Well, that's really hard to show off. By Jinsei Katoka and Katsuma Kondo. And this is about a guy that gets sort of wrongly accused of having sort of massacred his entire class. He's only 14 years old. He gets sent to this sort of prison, which is really weird prison, called Dead Man Wonderland, and he has to pretty much fight for his survival. This is really dark and gory and bloody and sort of disturbing. I did really enjoy it. I think I'm gonna continue on with the series. It's definitely a lot different than I originally thought, but I ended up giving this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read A Jin Demihuman by Tsuina Miura and Gamon Sakurai. Sorry if I butchered that, totally did. But this one is about people who, when they're killed, they don't stay, when they die, they don't stay dead. They actually come sort of back again as a demi-human, and there's people that kind of like hunted around, you know, the world, and shit goes freaking down. And this is pretty like weird. Honestly, I did enjoy it. It was a quick read, definitely different from anything I read before. This one 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. I already butchered that, sorry. But this is about a world where 80% of the people in the universe have superpowers, and then the unlucky 20% don't have any. And we follow our middle school student Izuki, and he wants to be hero more than anything, but he does not have any superpowers. And therefore he sort of wants to do anything, and he gets a chance to change his identity, and you know, shit goes down. So this is the typical sort of superpower kind of story. I did really enjoy it. It was a quick read, definitely some twists and turns in there, and I ended up giving this 3.5 out of 5 stars. Then I finally finished Harry Potter The Wand Collection, which is like from the films of the Harry Potter. So this is pretty much just a lot of pictures from different wands. We get to a little bit of like information about the different characters, like McGonagall here, and here's a wand and everything like that. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting. I feel like most information, there's like different quotes from different actors and stuff like that, where they talk about their wand or how it felt like using the wand and everything like that. So it was interesting, not really something I think I will ever reread, but yeah, I give it 3 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Knäckarbaketten by Sara Bergmark Elfgren, illustrated by Emil Maxén. This is about a couple of twins, and they are both sort of, I don't know if the English word's earl, but something kind of like that. And when their parents died, they decided that they would each inherit this sort of earldom, and they split the castle into two, and they take part of one. Each twin gets one half of the castle and everything, and they're just trying to outdo the other one constantly through their lives. The people living in the city kind of get, you know, stuck in between, and they're really poor and they're starving and anything like that. And one of the twins decides to have this big banquet with hundreds and hundreds of different dishes and everything like that, and shit goes down and some magical aspects, and we meet this boy named Almond, who is sort of just working with the pigs, and he gets sent off on this sort of mission. And we meet Ottilia, who just hates the gluttony going on and just tries to help Almond and everything like that. This was really funny. It has beautiful illustrations. It was definitely a lot different than I thought, but I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Now we have The Promised Neverland by Kayu Shirai and Kotsuka Dimitsu. This is the fourth volume in the Promised Neverland series. I like this series so much. It's so much fun. I really like the illustrations and the plot and everything like that. Then this one we meet a couple of kids, a lot of them actually, who lives at this sort of orphanage called Gracefield Hall. Life around school and the daily tests and everything like that, and then just them playing and stuff like that. And they don't really know that maybe outside of Gracefield House, maybe shit is a little bit different than they have been led to believe. This series is just really like dark and menacing and creepy at some points, but I do really enjoy it, and I'm definitely going to continue with the series, obviously, since I'm already on volume 4. This is volume 4.5 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Worlds Collide by Chris Colfer. This is the 6th and final book in the Land of Stories series, so I actually finished the series. Whoop whoop. But in this one we continue following Alex and Connor. They have to save the Land of Stories once again. They collect a lot of different sort of people to help them fight this army, and shit goes down. It's really awesome, really funny, and just magical. Giving this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. Now we have Orange, the Complete Collection, volume 2 by Ichigo Takano. This is the final collector's edition of this story. I did really enjoy the first one. This is pretty much about this teenage girl named Neho, and she actually ends up getting letters from her future self 10 years into the future, telling her what to do to be able to save one of her classmates who actually killed himself, what she's supposed to do differently to be able to make sure that he survives. And they just she's just trying to figure out what she should do differently from each and every day to make this guy's life a lot better. And this is definitely trigger warning for like suicide and stuff like that. I do have like some problem that it was up to these teenagers to make sure that their friend didn't kill themselves, which is like not a healthy way to do it. But at the same time, it was very well written. The art is beautiful, and it definitely, like, you felt the support from his peers and everything like that, which was really beautiful. But yeah, definitely not without that its complications and everything. But yeah, I give this 4.5 out of 5 stars. We have Calling All Witches, and these are from the films of Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts. This is from the Wizarding World, and we just get some information about all the female characters, like Ginny Weasley, Trelawney and everything like that. Just a little bit information and tidbits, mostly just different scenes that have happened in the movies, because it's all made off of the movies, which means that some facts are not correct since they haven't, you know, done anything from the books, so some things are changed. But it was a fascinating read. It's really fun to see the illustrations because they're really pretty, and it's like 6 times Luna broke the mold and everything like that. But yeah, it was a little bit repetitive. It was a shame that it's just based off the movies, which I knew because it says so on the book, but still it would be more accurate if it was based off the books as well. But yeah, I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. And I also read Crossroads of Twilight by Rob Jordan, which is the 10th book in the Wheel of Time series. I'm never going to get finished with these books. Apparently the goal was to finish all of them, but I managed to get through 10, and yeah, it was not the best time of my life. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that because I'm so tired of talking of these books because there's so many. But yeah, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And then I also read Haruo Astronaut by Ichigo Takano. This is the same author that wrote the Orange volumes, and this was about 2 twins. They look exactly the same, but they have like different tastes in clothes and boys, and they're very different personality wise. And then they meet this cute guy that they both like, and shit goes down. And I don't know, it felt like it didn't have like a lot of substance. I don't really get why this was a thing. I mean, this is a short story, so it's not very long, but yeah, it is what it is. I give these 3 out of 5 stars. So yeah, those were all the 25 books I read. My couch is completely filled with books at this point. But yeah, if you read any of these books, please let me know down below what you thought about them, without spoiling, of course. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me some thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the button down below. And yeah, I hope to see each other in the next one. Bye!